Hi everyone, I'm doing another cooking video for you today, and the last one I did seemed to have a really good reaction, so I thought I'd do another one. This time we're doing a Chinese dish. It's going to be Peking king prawns with braised rice. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you need to get started. Okay, so here's all my ingredients again. So we have vegetable oil because we are going to be cooking this on the hob, so we do need that, and stir frying. And I've got about 4 spring onions. Now you can have less if you don't like them. I just really like spring onions, so that's why I've got more. Then I've got some bamboo shoots here. I've just sliced them diagonally. You can just buy these in the can and just chop them up like that. You need about 25 grams, but you can have less or more again depending on how much you like them. I've got here about 10 prawns, and these should be king prawns, de-shelled and everything, so you haven't got the shells on. If you like more prawns you can. These are a little bit on the small side, so I haven't got as many as I probably would normally want to have. Then you need some wine. If you don't like wine, then you can just substitute the wine for chicken stock. That's not going to be a problem. The wine is to go in with the corn flour, and you need half a tablespoon of corn flour, so that's fine. And then you need 30 ml of wine, so that's 2 tablespoons. You need a little bit of Tabasco sauce, and this is to taste, so if you like things spicy you can really spice things up, but if not then that's fine. You need about a teaspoon of ginger. Then we've got some chicken stock. Now this is what we're going to use with the rice as well as the prawns. So I have about 700 ml. You probably need about 100 ml for the prawns, and then the rest is for the rice, so that's fine. Now for the rice, because we're braising it, it's going to be cooking for a less amount of time than what you normally would. So we are soaking the rice in just cold water, and you have it in the sieve so it's easy to get out. But yeah, you need to soak it in there for at least 20 minutes, just so all the starch comes out. And see how the water's cloudy, that's all the starch coming out. And then in the rice we're going to be putting, that's just 2 spring onions chopped up, and I've got some garlic as well, and we're going to be putting some turmeric, ground turmeric in there as well. You can substitute turmeric for Chinese 5 spice or paprika if you prefer. And then we just have a wok and a saucepan. So we're going to start with the rice, and I'm just currently just draining that off in the sieves, just to make sure there's no excess water. I mean, if there is, it's not a problem because we're going to be adding chicken stock anyway. But I'm just going to add this into a frying pan. Now you can use a saucepan if you don't have one, but you need something that has a lid. And then you're also going to add in your garlic, and that's about, I've just put in about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and then I've got 2 spring onions chopped up. Put them in as well. And then we're going to add the chicken stock. So you want to add about 2, I've got about a cup of rice, so you need to do, however many people do, you need to do double rice to how much, double liquid to how much water, how much rice there is. So I'm going to just do 2 cups, which is 250 ml by the way. Okay. Right, so you just want to make sure you have double the amount. So just going to mix all that in, make sure that so the rice is evenly spread, and then we're just going to add the turmeric as well. Add about, I'd say, a teaspoon of turmeric, maybe just under. So about that much, just add that in. And that's going to give the rice a really lovely yellow colour, and also add a lot of flavour. And turmeric's really good as well because it's a really healthy herb, oh sorry, spice. It's got a lot of healing qualities. It's really good if you have arthritis or stuff like that, which I didn't know until a couple of weeks ago. But just mix all that in, and then that needs to go onto a heat. So what you need to do then is put it on the hob on a high heat and wait for it to be brought up to the boil. It's already starting to boil now, and then once it's started to boil you need to turn the heat down. Obviously this works better if you have a gas hob rather than an electric one, but you need to turn the heat down. I'm just going to turn on a different one, and just let it simmer so that it reduces. And then once you're putting it on a simmer, then you have to put the lid on as well. Okay, so now the rice has already started to boil, and I put that on a lower heat with the lid on top. So we're just going to wait for that to reduce. The whole thing should take about It shouldn't take much longer than 10 minutes, but that does depend on how much rice or water you have, so that's fine. You can also use it with vegetable stock if you don't want to have chicken in it. So now I've got my corn flour, and as I said, that's about just over half a tablespoon. You don't need a lot, so you don't need to worry if it doesn't look like a lot. And then we're just going to add the wine to it and make the paste. So I need 2 tablespoons, so it doesn't matter if you go over. And then you're just going to take your spoon and mix them in together. Corn flour is a really weird kind of substance because it doesn't really mix well, but it thickens up sauces, so that's why we're adding it into this sauce, but we've got to have it at the end. Just make sure you get it all in. It should be like a milky consistency once you're done. So as you can see, the rice has significantly soaked up the stock, so that's almost done now. So it's on a very low heat, still with the lid on. I've just put a bit of vegetable oil in the pan. Now you can use peanut oil with this. I just haven't been able to find peanut oil. If anyone knows where to find peanut oil, I even went to a Chinese supermarket and I couldn't find it there, but maybe it's just because it's all in Chinese. And then, so what we're going to do, we're going to add our spring onions. I'm using a non-stick wok, so I don't need to use a lot of oil, but if you are using a proper wok, you might need to use a bit more oil than what I have. Okay. All we're going to do is brown them off. Now this is a very quick dish, so once it starts going, you really have to be on top of it. And you just want to do these until soft. They're slightly brown. They are starting to just get a bit of colour on them now. And then we're going to add the prawns. Now if you don't like prawns, you can use scallops, but I like prawns, so I don't use scallops. Right. And you're going to add them in. Now the key is with this, I'm just going to take off the heat because I think that's a bit too hot, that pan. The key is with this not to be over keen with touching them. You've got to just let them stay still and not play with them too much, and they should be just getting pink on one side, and then you can flip them over and get them pink on the other side. I think this is slightly too hot, that hob, for them, but yeah. See, they're already starting to turn pink. But the thing with prawns, we don't want to overcook them. Hopefully that's going to be cooling off a little bit now. You don't really want to cook them much more than that because we still have a little bit of cooking time left. But see how they're taking on that lovely pink colour already. And then we're going to add the rest of the stock that we didn't add to the rice. Just to calm the whole thing down. There we go. We're going to add our bamboo shoots. Now you can use water chestnuts if you prefer. Bamboo shoots are fine. Okay. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir. We don't really want it to be bubbling too much. Just so it gets a good heat through. Then we're going to add the Tabasco sauce. Now this calls for a few drops, but you can, I like mine with a bit of a kick. So just pour however much you want in, but that is down to personal preference. It's not something that you can just say you need this much, but it is good to have a little bit of a kick in it, I find, because it does make it tastier. And then we are going to add the ginger, and that's pretty much all the ground ginger that you need. Okay. And then you really want to keep the prawns off the heat at this point because they will be all cooked through. So if you can just move them to one side and then just let the liquid cook. I'll just show you the rice. See, and how it's got that lovely yellow colour. We still want the rice to be nice and moist and not too dry, so this is about perfect already. So we're about done with this now. As you can see, it's all starting to come together. Now this is where we add the corn flour, and the corn flour, as I said before, thickens the sauce. Now you may find that you need to re-stir the corn flour, because it does separate. So just give it a quick stir, it should be fine. Now you want to add a little bit of this at a time. So pour the liquid away from the prawns, and you want to add a little bit. Probably more at first, because you will need a fair bit, and then you're going to stir it in, and you will gradually see the sauce start to thicken. Now if you're not using chicken stock, if you're not using wine and you're using chicken stock instead, or just water, you need to make sure it's cold, because that's how it reacts. So you need to wait for it to be brought to the boil. And once it boils, we can add more, but you've got to wait each time for it to boil. Okay, so that's boiling now. So we can start to add a little bit more in. Now you don't want the sauce too thick, so don't add too much, because it does thicken up really quickly once you add this corn flour in. And then again, we're going to do the same thing, just add a little drop more. Mix and stir again. And now by this point, by the third time, you should really start to see a difference in the sauce. It's really starting to thicken up now. And I'm going to say that's pretty much enough of the corn flour. You don't need to use it all, it's literally just depends on what it's doing. But I think that is going to be thick enough. Just make sure we've got all the prawns in, just so it gets a flavour of the sauce, but then keeping them off the heat as well. So just stir and then get them off the heat. Just make sure that you're getting any sauce that's in with the prawns. I will just add a little drop more in, because I don't mind a thick sauce, but you don't want to go crazy. The rice is done. You can just see the rice. The colouring is off on here today, I don't know why, but it's a very vibrant yellow. All natural as well, no artificial flavourings, just ground turmeric. Now you want to take that off the heat. With that, you're pretty much done. I'll show you when it's all plated. And here's the final product. Really, really tasty, a lot of flavours in there. Very, very simple to do as well. Once you've got all the prep out of the way, very, very quick meal. So obviously we've got the prawns and the spring onions and all the flavours in the rice as well. It's a really, really tasty dish. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to go and eat my food because it smells amazing, and I hope you've liked that. I'll add some photos in the end just so you can see it, because I think the cameras on here have been a bit off today, so I don't know what that's about. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've made it, let me know, and if you have any questions you can ask me. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know if you want any more cooking videos, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!